This is the plaintiff, Kenneth. He says he ordered firewood from the defendant because he had no power after Hurricane Sandy, and the guy delivered wet wood to him. That's right. What's he going to do with wet wood? The defendant refused to return his money and take his crummy water-soaked logs, and so here they are. He's suing for $125, the amount he paid. This is the defendant, Gary Grossman. He says he didn't deliver wet wood to the plaintiff. He dropped off seasoned wood ready to burn so the guy could stay warm after the hurricane. The louse ended up calling the cops to his house. They went back and forth for 45 minutes and then the plaintiff filed suit. He's accused of soaking a customer, but good.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff ordered firewood from the defendant after Hurricane Sandy and says it was all wet. But the defendant says the wood was bone dry. It's the case of coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Okay, Kenneth, you asked us to refer to you only by your first name. Kenneth, you're suing Gary Grossman, doing business as Grossman's Nursery, for $125 that you paid him for firewood that, according to you, was unusable. Tell me what was going on.
On Sunday, November 11th, we were 2 weeks into the hurricane, and I had no firewood left to heat my home, which was my primary source for heating the home. So I went on my cell phone and I Googled firewood in my zip code. And Mr. Grossman.
Did you have power at the time?
I did not have power.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live in Oceanside, New York.
Okay.
So I Googled Mr. Grossman's nursery came up.
Did you have destruction at your home too?
I did have some damage, yes.
Some damage, but you were living in it?
Yes.
Okay.
I had another family living with us as well that their house flooded out.
Okay.
So there were two families living there temporarily.
No heat, no power?
No heat, no power. Well, I had a little bit of power from a generator, but I couldn't use that all day. So the other source of heat was for firewood.
Okay.
So I had Googled in my local zip code for firewood, and Mr. Grossman's Nursery came up. So I called. And I asked him if they had dry season firewood available, and he said yes. I asked him how much it was. He said $125 for half a cord. I said, when can you deliver it? He said, tomorrow. I said, fine. The next day came. Mr. Grossman showed up at my house at about 4:45 with the firewood, backed his pickup truck into my driveway, came out of his truck, asked me for the $125. I paid him the $125. He asked me if I had a wheelbarrow. I said yes. I went in my backyard.
Did you pay him before looking at the wood?
The wood was out in the open. It was in a pickup truck, so I just gave him the money as soon as he got out because I assumed he wouldn't unload it without me paying him. So
right, but I'm saying, did you look at the wood? Or
I mean, I could visibly see it, but I didn't hold it.
Did it look good to you? Because you're here because, according to you, he sold you wood that wasn't seasoned. It won't burn dry because there's still moisture in it.
Right.
And you made that determination 2.5 minutes later, after you paid him the $125. So my question to you is, did you look at it before you paid him the money?
I did look at it.
Okay, and did it look good to you?
It did look okay to me.
Okay,
yeah.
and then what happens?
So I went in the backyard, I got the wheelbarrow, I came back up. He put one piece in the wheelbarrow, handed me the second piece, and I said, this is not good wood.
The second piece wasn't good?
Well,
or none of it
just
was?
when he handed it to me, I said, this is not right. I said,
How
this
did
is
you
not
know?
good. Because it was heavy.
Okay.
And based on my experience from dealing with firewood, you can tell if it's good or not by feeling it, not necessarily by looking at it. So when I felt that piece, I grabbed a couple more pieces and I said, this is not good firewood. I said, this is not going to burn. And Mr. Grossman was trying to tell me that it is good firewood, that it will burn, that he sells it all the time. I said, listen, I said, this is not good firewood. I said, this is not going to burn. It's very heavy. It's very wet. And
I guess I get what I'm curious about is that if all you had to do was this, why didn't you do that before you paid him? Just from a businessman perspective, like why are you buying something where apparently the secret to figuring it out, according to you, is lifting it rather than looking at it, and you don't lift it before you give him the $125?
Right. It was my assumption that he told me that it was dry seasoned, and that's
so what he tells you. You don't know him from a hole in the wall.
Right.
You found him and you Googled him.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't buy a melon without feeling it.
Lesson
you know what I'm
learned.
saying? Like it's a lesson learned. Like all right, what do you say is going on? You say it's something else.
The defendant, a plaintiff contacted me inquiring about firewood. He stated that he had no heat, from the hurricane. His power was out, and he needed firewood, for heat. And he needed it right away, as soon as possible. So we made a date and time to bring it.
Which was how many days away?
The date that he contacted me was on the 5th of November.
And the day you were bringing
it? The date that we discussed to bring it was on November the 6th.
Okay.
In the afternoon.
Okay.
So I brought it to his house on the date and time that we discussed. I backed up onto his driveway where he said he wanted to unload it. I go in, go to the doorbell, and I ring the doorbell, and there's no answer. It looks like there's someone home in the house, but there's no one answering. So I wait a few minutes, and I just go back to my truck, and I started to unload it.
Okay.
Because we
Why are you unloading it if you don't know if you're going to
we
get paid?
discussed where he wanted to put it. We discussed to the rear of the driveway would be the best
Okay.
spot to put it, and then he would stack it from there. So I decided. So I went to my truck and I started to unload a few pieces, and he came running out. Hey, wait! This is not good. It's not a good time. I'm feeding my family right now, and I can't take this wood at this time. I says, what do you mean? I said, I thought you said you had no power and you needed it for heat. Oh, I got my power back on. I don't need it right now, You're going to have to come back another time. I said, I can't come back another time. So I loaded this by hand. It's a lot of work, and I just can't. Oh, if you're not going to come back another time, I'm just going to have to call the police. So the police come, and we mutually agreed to schedule another date and time when he's going to contact me to bring it back. And the next thing is I have a summons in the mail.
To bring
the wood back that he didn't want to take that night.
Okay, but you already had the 125.
Yeah,
And so you thought that you were leaving there with him just calling you on another date to bring $125 worth of wood. You already had the 125. That was fine with you. That was a good resolution. Then next thing you know, you get sued.
The difference is the transaction took place in my place of business. That's where he paid the $125.
Oh, wait. You mean he didn't give it to you on the driveway?
No, not on the driveway, no.
Oh, was he personally at your place of business?
Yes.
So does this plaintiff have a duty to inspect it before he accepts it?
Yes, he does. He got it, he took it, accepted it, so.
Tough luck?
Yep.
Tough luck. What do you think?
Yeah, he should have looked at it. That was his choice.
By not looking at it, is it tough luck for him?
Yeah, tough luck.
Going way in the back
He paid for it, so he should be making sure that it's good material.
before he plunks down the money.
Before, yeah.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Did you give him the $125 before the driveway?
I did not know.
Do you have a receipt?
Yes, I have a receipt I want to submit in evidence.
Let me see it. Did your power come back at that point?
It came back actually the day that he delivered it. And, Your Honor, I have a piece of paper.
So how would he know that unless you had told him? As in, when he says that the reason you didn't want to take it is that you didn't need it anymore.
Well, I never had a conversation with this gentleman prior to him showing up at my house. The person
Well,
who
you
I
had
spoke
to
with,
have. He wouldn't have known. Oh, you mean you had it
the
with somebody
person I
else?
spoke with on the phone was not this gentleman.
But the bottom line is, did you breach a contract or did he breach the contract? Did you breach it because you ordered something you didn't need anymore and because you got your power? And obviously you must have spoken to him on a prior day, otherwise they wouldn't know to be there. So if you got the power the same day they're delivering it, that's the incentive. That moment of getting your power back, which happens after you've ordered this wood, is in his version, is the moment that you decided, well, I don't want that wood anymore. I need the 125. I'm not going to pay it. And so you breached. That's his version. Your version is you'd love to have half a quart of wood, even though you now have power. And even though you've told me that you bought the wood in order to have heat. And when it comes, after you've looked at it and said, looks good to me, handed him $125, you then lift it and then say, oh no, this stuff's wet and I don't want to buy it. All right, is there video? Who has video?
I have video.
And what is the video of?
The video is of Mr. Grossman delivering the wood and being paid on November 12th.
Okay, let's see it. Is this a surveillance camera at your home?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I paid him right there.
Yep, he's paying you right there.
Not at his place of business.
Right,
obviously.
I don't know.
That is what he was giving me is a tip for coming there, and he's saying that for your trouble, he gave me $10, for coming. He says, can you come back another night? He tells me.
Okay, just a second. I'm seeing this.
You don't see the
okay, stop.
And I
Okay,
told him I wouldn't
rewind.
take
I want to see this whole thing while you're not talking. You look like you're counting more than a 10, but I don't know, because you're counting it to verify it. People don't do that with a tip. I don't know why you guys are so hung up on that. You're both committed to whatever you claim is the day that was paid. The bottom line is that it was paid, and it was paid in return for something. And the only question is this the something? Did you bring what you were supposed to bring? And I assume,
like I said, my offer still stands. I'm willing to, give him the product. My firewood is seasoned and dry. It's not fair that he's saying that the wood is not good. He didn't give it a chance. He didn't try to burn it, and he had. I think, Your Honor, I think he just wanted it for his power situation.
Yeah,
if that was the case,
there's that's kind of disturbing me, that whole power situation.
Well, here's the deal. If that was the case, I got my power back Sunday night at about 7:30. He still delivered it on Monday. I didn't tell, and he called prior to coming to see if it was okay to deliver it because he was coming later than he thought.
Okay, well then we don't have a problem, do we? You rejected that firewood. You would like the solution to be different firewood, and he would like the solution to be different firewood. Why are we in court?
Because the police officer that came to the scene tried explaining to him to give me my money back, go back and get the firewood that I'm asking for, season firewood.
But you don't get your money back. You just get the firewood you're asking for.
But he doesn't have the firewood that I'm asking for. That's the problem.
How could he not? He's in the business of selling for your. I know he has a nursery, but what makes you think he's not?
Because what I found out later was that his yard was completely underwater from the hurricane. So now he's trying to sell off whatever damaged goods that he has.
Okay, we're done. Here's what we're going to do, folks. All right? How long do you need to bring him firewood that's not going to cause us to be back in court?
I can bring it as soon as he wants it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a week to go ahead and arrange that outside with Officer McIntosh. Let me give you some pieces of advice.
Okay.
When you're in a business situation where you think something's going to go wrong, what you do is you do everything with people watching.
Okay.
Okay. I would video the firewood. All right. So I would video the firewood. I would video the firewood burning, and then I would video me putting it in the truck, and then I would bring a witness with me, and then I would deliver the darn firewood so that you're sure that you're not going to end up in court again. Okay, that's what I would do.
That's good
because
advice.
it doesn't cost much,
Yes.
right? Okay, that's what we're going to do, folks. Good luck.
I wonder what the plaintiff is thinking coming out of the courtroom here after the judge is going to give him a chance to bring you your firewood. What's the problem?
This is an absolute joke. He doesn't have any quality firewood where he is. He knows it. He lied every second that he was in there.
What if he brings you dry firewood? Is this satisfactory?
It'd be satisfactory, but he won't.
Okay.
And then what?
How do you know? You got to give him a chance to do it first.
Who's going to be there to determine if it's good or not?
Well, he's going to take pictures. He's going to do what the judge said. We're going to witness the thing in flames. And
the problem is that pictures, video.
You sure it wasn't about your power coming back on?
Absolutely, because he delivered it the day before.
We'll see what happens.
Thank you.
All right,
Sir.
right around the corner here. Step on in here. Judge is giving you a chance to deliver the firewood. He doesn't seem to think you've got the goods.
I do have the goods to bring him. And,
Was your place underwater, like he says?
No, my place was not underwater, like he said. And I'll double check, I'll triple check each piece, and I'll make sure each piece is good.
All right.
And
do what the judge says.
Yes.
Bring a witness, take pictures, get some video of the wood burning.
Sure.
What does he have? What does he have against you?
I don't know. I mean, that you're going to have to ask him.
All right, Harvey.
In most states, you have a duty to reasonably inspect the items you get before you actually accept delivery. And if you don't, and it turns out not to be good, generally it's tough luck. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.